Students, in this section we are discussing the imperfections or defects in solids. Imperfections means the change from the regular arrangement. In solids, all the defects are known as thermodynamic defects because the defects arises due to the temperature differences. First we discuss about the point defect. Point defect means the defect occurred in the particular lattice point of the solid. The point defect can be classified into two types. They are stoichiometric defect and non-stoichiometric defect. First we consider stoichiometric defect. What is stoichiometric defect? The defect which do not affect the stoichiometry of the compound. Stoichiometry means, for example, NaCl, the ratio is 1 sodium for 1 chlorine, 1:1. That is stoichiometry. The defect that do not affect the stoichiometry is known as stoichiometric defect. We can study two types of stoichiometric defect, that is Schottky defect and Frankel defect. Schottky defect means here two cations and anions are missing from their lattice point. So there is a vacancy occurred, so it is known as a vacancy defect. Due to the disappear of the cations and the anions, the density of the solid will be decreases. The solids which shows Schottky defect is which have the same size for cations and anions. Example, NaCl, AgBr, KCl, etc. Again we consider Frankel defect. In Frankel defect, an anion or a cation is missing from its lattice point and occupying the interstitial gaps. Usually, cations occupies the interstitial position. Here, the density remains the same. An example for that is AgCl, AgBr, etc. Here we see AgBr is a solid which shows Schottky defect and Frankel effect. Okay, so we can compare Schottky effect and Frankel effect. It is an important question. Give the difference between Schottky defect and Frankel effect. Next we consider non-stoichiometric defects. Non-stoichiometric defect means the defect which affect the stoichiometry of the solid. In that category, first comes metal excess defect. It can be classified into two types, anion vacancy defect and presence of extra cation. First we consider anion vacancy defect. Here an anion means positively charged ion missing from its lattice point and the electrical neutrality is maintained by an electron. An electron trapped in a solid lattice is known as F-centers. In this category, one important question is coming, that is, what happens when sodium chloride, NaCl, is heated in the atmosphere of sodium? Or lithium chloride is heated in the presence of lithium, potassium chloride is heated in the presence of potassium, all the alkali metals. Here, in the case of NaCl heated in the presence of sodium, the compound will be yellow in color. That is due to the anion vacancy. There created a F-center. The presence of F-center give the compound yellow color. Next type is presence of extra cation. Here, a positively charged ion is presented extra in the lattice point. Example for that is ZnO. Here, ZnO decomposes and gives Zn2 plus 2 electron. The extra Zn2 plus occupies the interstitial position and the electrical neutrality is maintained by the liberated electron. The presence of electron leads the compound to yellow color. And the second category is metal deficiency defect. And there is two subdivisions, that are presence of extra anion and the vacancy of cation. Next type of point defect is impurity defect. That means in the case of NaCl, 1 or 2 sodium is replaced by second group elements. That leads to the presence of extra positive charge in the compound. That leads to impurity defect. Next we consider the electrical property of the solids. We know that solids are classified into 3 types according to their conducting power. That is conductors, semiconductors and insulators. Here we explain the electrical property of solids using band theory. It is an important question. Explain the conductivity property of solids in the base of band theory. In band theory, we have to consider 3 new concepts, that are valence band, conduction band, band gap. What is valence band? The most occupied orbital of a metal is known as valence band, and the highest unoccupied energy level in a metal is known as the conduction band, and the energy gap between these two is known as band gap. In the case of solids showing conductance, that means conductors, the band gap between conduction band and valence band is very small, or otherwise they will be overlap. So the metal electron from the valence band easily go to the conduction band. In the case of semiconductors, the band gap is little more than conductors. But in the case of insulators, the energy gap is very large. So the electron from the valence band never go to the conduction band. That is the explanation based on the band theory, and you must draw the diagram for the exam. Next, we consider the semiconductors. We know that silicon germanium type elements show natural semiconductance. Their conductance can be increased by the process doping. We already learned in the physics. Doping means improvement of the conductance. While doing doping, we get 2 types of semiconductors, that are N-type semiconductors and P-type semiconductors. We know that usually 14th group elements, carbon family shows, including silicon, germanium, shows eccentric semiconductance. If we dope 14th group elements with 15th group elements, that is nitrogen family, phosphorus, arsenic, etc., their valency is 5 and the 14th group elements have valency 4. So while combining, there is an excess electron is present, and the excess electrons go moving around the solid. That conductance increases. So the doped semiconductor will be N-type semiconductor. That means the conductance is due to negatively charged electron. What is N-type semiconductor? 14th group elements doped with the 15th group elements. What is P-type semiconductor? If we dope 14th group elements with 13th group elements, aluminium family, there is a loss of 1 electron, or a hole. There is a positive charges circulating the conductance, and that type of semiconductors is known as P-type semiconductors. Next, we discussing the magnetic property of solids. Usually, we already learned that solids are paramagnetic or diamagnetic. What is diamagnetic? If all the electrons present in a solid is paired, that is known as diamagnetic substance. They are weakly repelled by the external magnetic field. What is paramagnetic? Paramagnetic means there is presence of unpaired electrons. So they are weakly attracted by the magnetic field. Here we learn three new type of magnetism, that is ferromagnetic substance. What is ferromagnetic substance? They are strongly attracted by the external magnetic field. They show magnetism even if we remove the external magnetic field. Iron, cobalt are example for this type of magnetism. How it is possible? In the case of ferromagnetic substances, all the magnetic moments are arranged in one direction. So, there will be a large net dipole moment. Next type is antiferromagnetic substance. Here, the net magnetic momentum of the solid is 0. Here, they are arranged one in one direction, the other is opposite direction. So, if we calculating the net effect, it will be 0 because dipole momentum is a vector quantity. Next we consider ferrimagnetic substance. Here we are expecting a large value of dipole moment, but we get very few amount because two of them are aligned in one direction, other in the opposite direction. So we are expecting the more, but actually it shows very less amount of magnetic moment. These are the different types of magnetism, and we must study one example for all the magnetic property. So here we are finishing the chapter solid state. Thank you.